Right now, inside your body, something is trying to kill you. Not a metaphor. A virus, a bacterium, a parasite. Something microscopic is probing your cells for a way in, and the only reason you're still here is because your immune system is quietly winning a war you don't even know is happening. Now, imagine that same war with no doctors, no antibiotics, no hospitals, no idea what a germ even is. That was every human who ever lived for the first 299,900 years of our existence. So, how did any of them survive? Here's something most people don't appreciate. The human immune system is ancient, older than our species, older than our genus. When a pathogen enters your body today, your immune system doesn't panic. It runs a process refined across hundreds of millions of years of evolution. It recognizes patterns, it signals inflammation, it deploys white blood cells like a standing army that's been training for exactly this fight. Ancient humans didn't need to understand disease because their bodies already did. Bioarchaeologists studying skeletal remains have found evidence of tuberculosis, infections, and parasites in bones over 1 million years old, with signs of recovery. These individuals survived, not because of medicine, because the body they inherited was already built for this. But biology alone wasn't enough, because pathogens evolved too, and something else was needed. In 1960, primatologist Jane Goodall was observing chimpanzees in Tanzania when she noticed something strange. A sick chimp left the group alone. It walked to a specific plant, Aspelia, not part of its normal diet. It carefully folded the leaves and swallowed them whole without chewing. By the next morning, the chimp had recovered. Researchers later analyzed Aspelia and found it contained thiorebrine A, a compound with powerful anti-parasitic properties. The chimp didn't learn this, it knew it. This behavior, zoopharmacognosy, animals self-medicating with plants, has now been documented in dozens of species, and early humans did the same. But then they went further. They watched, they remembered, they shared. Archaeobotanists excavating a Neanderthal burial site in Shanidar Cave, Iraq, found pollen deposits around the body from 8 species of medicinal plants: yarrow, groundsel, ephedra, plants still used in medicine today. Neanderthals were burying their dead with the same herbs your grandmother kept in her kitchen. Not superstition, memory. Accumulated, passed-down knowledge about what the natural world could do for a suffering body. But here's what changed everything. At some point in human prehistory, someone in the group became the person who knew. Not a doctor, not a shaman yet, just the one who remembered which root reduced a fever, which leaf closed a wound, which bark made the stomach pain stop. Anthropologists call this the emergence of the specialist, and it transformed survival. Because knowledge held in one mind could now be protected, deepened, and transmitted. One person's lifetime of observation became the next generation's starting point. Medical anthropologist Daniel Mowerman cataloged the medicinal plant knowledge of Native American tribes and found over 2,700 plant species used for specific, targeted treatments: pain, infection, inflammation, childbirth complications. None of it written down. All of it memorized, passed from healer to apprentice across hundreds of generations. This was not primitive guesswork. Aspirin comes from willow bark. Morphine comes from the poppy tree. Quinine, the first treatment for malaria, comes from the cinchona tree, knowledge held by indigenous Peruvians for centuries before Western science arrived. Ancient humans didn't lack medicine. They were the medicine. When we look back at the ancient world, we see people who died young. And they did. Infection, childbirth, injury. Death came fast and it came often. But here's what that picture misses. For every person who died from a wound, someone cleaned it with the right plant. For every fever that killed, another broke because someone knew what to brew in the night. Ancient humans survived sickness the same way they survived everything else. Not alone. Not through strength, through accumulated, obsessively protected, carefully transmitted knowledge, the kind that lived in people, not books, the kind that died when the last elder who held it was gone. We have hospitals now. We have antibiotics and antivirals and machines that breathe for you. But somewhere in the chain between a Neanderthal folding leaves in the dark and the surgeon scrubbing in for your operation, every single link was a human being who refused to let the knowledge die. That's not primitive. That's the longest, most unbroken act of care in the history of our species.